Good morning, magpies. Good morning, igloo. Good morning, experimental ice project. Good morning, owl. How are you doing today? Good morning, other owl. Good morning, other owl. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. My name's Cody, and I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out what we're getting up to today. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's get to work. If this is the first time you're watching one of the videos, I really want to thank you for stopping by and checking it out. Yeah, I guess I'll just give a quick little rundown as to what we do here. So, we run a few different businesses on our farm here, one of them being a private off-leash park for dogs where people can rent it out and let their dogs run free without having to worry about other people joining in. So once they book that spot, they're in there alone by themselves. The other one is we run a farmer's market in the nicer weather, so spring, summer, fall. We also do an indoor photography studio as well as an outdoor photography studio. So today I'm going to be going through and just kind of working on each one of those little businesses behind the scenes here, making sure that everything is clean and tidy and organized for when our customers want to use it. So again, yeah, I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out what we're getting up to today. And yeah, let's keep moving. Okay, there we go. So first thing on the list today is to get this trailer moved. I've been making more ice to make more ice sculptures, but it's going to be a bit warm today. We're in the middle of a Chinook, so that means they're going to get a lot of wind and a lot of warm air moving in. So if I can move this trailer into the shade, that should keep it cool enough so that I don't lose all these ice blocks. So that's the first thing on the list today. So just finished up the last park here, got them all checked out and all the poop bags cleaned out. Sometimes what will happen is the garbage bag will actually lose its grip and sink into the bottom of the receptacle there, and you'll be a little bit creative sometimes on how you're going to fish that out of there. Normally this time of year it's so cold out that everything just stays nice and frozen at the bottom, but we're getting a Chinook right now, which is fantastic. I don't think you can see behind me here, but that's typically what a Chinook will come from the west, blowing warmer air in, so it's been above freezing all night long. And like I say, on a normal day that's fantastic, but on a day when you got to reach into the bottom of a one of those things, then it makes it a little bit extra squishy. So anywho, that's just another fun part of the job here today. So it's better that it looks nice and clean for the guests, as opposed to just letting that sit there. So anyway, got all those cleaned up. Just gonna go toss everything into the garbage and then we'll move on to the next project here. Quick stop over here at our igloo, see how she's holding up in this warmer weather. all things considered, I think she's doing pretty good. Definitely you can tell there's some melting happening. And apparently I went a little too heavy on the red dye there for that brick. It looks a little gruesome. But all in all, I'd say it's doing pretty good. Okay, we're back in the photo studio now, just for a quick look. There's not much that I have to do, maybe fold a blanket or two. But I just wanted to give everyone a quick look. The girls have been in here after the holidays to put everything back to a non-Christmas theme. And I think they've done a great job. Everything looks really, really nice. Here is a look at the second room. Very, very different from the holiday theme for sure. There we go. Yeah, beautiful. Those shears really make a difference for the light in this room, don't you think? So we try to do checks on the photo studio every day just to make sure that everything's neat and tidy and organized. And not that there's anything wrong with this space, but you can kind of see the bed looks sat on. So what I'm going to do is just fluff that over and make it look nice and tidy for sure. We really want everyone that comes in here to feel as though like they're the first ones in here, you know, not that someone's already been in here. So just to make it really clean and tidy. So I'm just going to take a second, straighten out that bed sheet, and that's pretty much it in the photo studio for today. And because I'm sure you're dying to know, the curtain that I hung a few months ago is still doing the job, nice and tight still. But just in case that was burning in your mind, don't worry, it is still doing its job. Really a big job to do. It's just making sure that everything looks neat and tidy so that when anyone ever wants to come and rent this space out for a photo shoot, it's neat and clean and ready to go. Then we're not scrambling, you know, trying to get someone in here to clean it when they're out doing other jobs. So went super easy today, and just a little show too for what we've, or what the girls I guess have flipped from the holiday set. So we're back into our regular sets now. But yeah, that's pretty much in here, so I'm going to move on to the next project. To make a calendula oil. So over the summer I grew roughly 1,000 foot row of calendula. It's a really good medicinal plant. It's antifungal, antimicrobial, and I use it to make a hand salve. The L is silent, salve, a hand salve that helps, you know, for dry skin and all sorts of different things. If you want to look up more about calendula, it's a really great plant. And but yeah, so anywho, what I do is I extract all of its goodness with some oil here. Now let's see. So I've got my custom mix of carrier oil here. It's a mix of sweet almond oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, and jojoba oil. And that's all mixed up there. And then what I do is I add that to the calendula flowers. See if that'll focus? There and there. And I let that sit for about 4 to 6 weeks. And what that does is the oil compounds actually are able to extract a lot of the chemical compounds from the calendula that give it all of its medicinal properties. And you can drain the petals from the oil then, and then you're left with an oil that is essentially full of all those good things. So that's what we're going to do now. It doesn't take that long. It's just a waiting game after you get started. So basically, calendula petals, oil, jar, let it sit for a month and you're good to go. When I'm doing it, what I like to do is make sure that you fill the jar, I would say at least an inch above where the petals sit. So that way all the petals are completely covered with the oil. That way you're going to get maximum extraction of the chemical compounds from the flower. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I've got the oil in there with the calendula. And yeah, like I say, I like to make sure that there's a little bit of space at the top there just so if anything expands, you know, that the flowers soak up and expand or whatever the case may be. Also, I like to leave an inch or so at the top of the container of oil just to allow the complete coverage of the flowers there. The petals will settle at the bottom. There's quite a lot of dead space. So once those settle, you'll get a good mix. But you can always shake it. I like to shake it probably once a day just to kind of get everything stirred up. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So it's one of the nice things when you grow stuff in the summer months to be able to utilize them in the winter months. So one of them is just making these nice oils. But yeah, do you guys grow and infuse your own oils? I'd love to hear it if you do, and tell me how you do it or what your process is. But yeah, it's just a fun thing to do here for sure. So anyway, I'll keep moving forward. Thank you. Okay, so I just ran the two boards here through the planer, and that gave me a nice flat and smooth surface, which is ideal. You don't really want a wobble in a cutting board. So after we got them all glued up, they sat overnight and in clamps. And all you need on these guys is just a wood glue. That'll hold them where you need them to be. They don't need to worry about putting in biscuits or joining them any other way than just the wood glue. And the little testing that I've done, it seems like the wood glue itself is a stronger bond than the wood to itself. So I hope that makes sense. But you're more likely to break a piece of the wood than you are the joint where it's glued up together. So it's remarkable stuff. But anywho, I've done them, and don't know if you can get a full view there or not, but they are 6 foot length boards all together there. Now what that's going to allow me to do is cut them up individually after the fact. So instead of having to make 4 or 5 boards at a time, I can just make one board and then cut it down to size, saving me a lot of time, which is fantastic. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to hop on the saw and get these all cut to length, and we'll move on from there. But one thing to bear in mind is that I don't have all of the proper tools, or I don't really even know all the proper techniques here. So a lot of this is just kind of trying it out and seeing if it works. I really do enjoy it, and I hope you don't ever get discouraged because you don't have the fancy tools or even the skills to do it, I think it's easy sometimes to get discouraged because you see people doing stuff online and they've got, tens of thousands of dollars in tools and setup and equipment, and you feel like you can't even get started. But that's a big disservice to yourself. I'm sure you can. The first ones that I made, all I had was just a little palm sander. And I had to use a palm sander to get them flat and smooth. It took a heck of a long time, but you just got to give it a go. Give it a try, and I think you'll be surprised with yourself. So in any of my videos that you watch, I'll probably never have the best tools or the best equipment, but try not to let that discourage me, so I just give it a try. So anyway, I'm sure there's a better way to cut these up than what I'm going to do, but again, I don't have very fancy tools, so I'm just going to use a little circular saw and get these boards cut to length. Okay, so I'm quite sure I made a lot of the actual woodworkers out there cringe with how I got these all ripped up here, but you know what, I think the circular saw worked pretty good. It's far from perfect, I do know that, but at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of it is just using what you've got and not putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect all the time. So, like I say, these ones are far from perfect, but I think they're quite nice, and it's just a little thing to keep me busy here. It's been a lot of fun making them. So I was able to get 8 boards out of just those 2 6 foot long boards, and I've got a little bit of wood left, so I might make a few more here, but yeah, this is the end result. I still have to... Got it. Oh, and the other one. Okay. Anywho, I still have to, I'm going to sand off the edges and make the not so sharp on the corners here. So my palm sander, and I held it at roughly a 45-degree angle to the edge. I know there are routers and special tools that you can get a perfect edge, but I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for really, really good. So with a palm sander, that's the only tool that I've bought for this job. So that's what I used. Anyway, I think it works pretty good. I don't know if you can really see the corners or the edges on there, if it'll focus or not, but all that really does is it takes off that harsh edge of the hardwood, and it gives me a nice little bit of a bevel there. So still going to sand, I think, the top here, and after I sand it, I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of water and let that kind of settle on there. And what that does is it pops the rest of the wood grain up, any loose straggly little bits, so that way you can sand those off, and that gives you a lot smoother finished product. So that's what I'm going to do next. I've got a few more boards here to sand, and then I'll get spraying and re-sanding, and then we're ready for the finished oil. But I just wanted to show you guys that you don't have to have the fancy tools, and not that a router's fancy, but you don't even need the right tools, just as long as there's a will and a desire to improve. So that's first one edged. There we go. I'll get going on these other ones here, and I'll catch back up with you when we're done. So yeah, we'll see you soon. I just sprayed them with water, which should help pop the grain to stand up for me. Once these have dried, I'll give them one more sanding, and that'll be it for sanding. And then it's just finish them off with the wood finisher. So we'll let these dry for a few minutes and I'll get back to sanding. Okay, there we go. So the final sanding is done and I've got them all dusted off here and ready for the finishing. So I just add a mineral oil, which is used for like butcher block countertops and those sorts of things. So it's food safe. I don't have to worry about nut allergies with some of the oils out there for cutting blocks or for chopping boards here, but yeah, so I just use a mineral oil, and this is the end result here. So I don't know if that's in focus or not. There we go. I can't see. There we go. But yeah, anyway, this is what we were able to get. So I have 4 of these and 4 of the other ones that I'm just going to seal up here and set on the shelf to dry for the day. So. There we go. So this is the final product. The boards have been sealed up and dried off, so the excess oil is taken off. But that's the dark one here. There we go. And then the lighter color one here. So yeah, just a fun little project that I figured I'd give a try here while I got some colder weather here to keep me busy and inside for a little bit while still being a little bit productive. So, all right, well everyone, I think that's probably where I'm going to wrap it up here for today. It was another great day, but yeah, thanks for following along. If you made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate it. So every little bit helps for sure. There's a lot of things that I can do, but one of them is I can't grow this channel without your guys' help and support. So I do appreciate every little bit. It goes a long way, absolutely. So yeah, just wanted to say a huge thank you for everybody, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day with whatever it is that you get up to. So until next time, everyone, take care, and we'll see you later. Bye now. Could you guys tell that was me? That's a pretty good owl impression.